Hello, weekend warriors. Welcome back to the workshop. We're still working on boxes. Over the last four videos, over the last several videos we were looking at making joints for boxes, so specific box joints that we could use over the next few videos where we're going to do complete box projects. So today we're going to start a complete box project, just one, and this is the one where we use the tongue and rabbet joint. And since we already had this full set box made up, because I want to make a box for my router bits, I figured we would just go with this one right off the bat and well, get one knocked out and out of the way. So we already cut the joint, we already glued the box up, we know it's square, we know it's strong. So now we've got to do a top and bottom. But on this box, we didn't set up for a top and bottom as far as doing any rabbet cuts, any joinery inside the box to set the lid or the base down into the box. Because on this, because it's just a utility box, I wanted to use just some flush mount, a flush mount bottom, a flush mount top, and then we'll do a few extra tricks to make them look better. So for today, I've got a couple pieces of old plywood from leftovers from past projects, and basically we're just going to go ahead and glue them right up on the top and the bottom, and then we'll work from there. So it's just as simple as cutting them down to rough size. I don't even have them cut down perfectly. I've got them cut down a little bit big, and so I am going to just go ahead and set up and glue these on. Oops. All right, it's all clamped up. I just have to leave it sit for a long while. I'll get back to you tomorrow. All right, our box has had time to dry. Left it overnight. So now let's go ahead and pull all these clamps off. Alright, so now I got a top and a bottom on the box. You'll notice, if you look close, there's a lip on every side of it, because of course I made my top and bottom too big because they're just flush mount, glued right down on top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to the router table with a flush trim bit, and I'm going to make these tops and the top and the bottom nice and even with the sides using a flush trim router bit. Hang on. Okay, here we go. I've got my flush trim router bit mounted in my little router table, the one from the saw crate. So it's just a matter of turning it on and going. So let me get my dust mask on and rock and roll here. Okay, now that's done. I've got nice smooth side all the way up and down. My top is meeting nice and flush. So is my bottom, whichever one is which. Now I'm going to get myself my round over bit, and I'm going to round over the edge on this a little bit. And then it's going to be a matter of doing some sanding and a couple other things before we split it and make it into a box. Okay, here we go. We got a box. We've got nicely rounded edges now. Now it's time to hit it with some sandpaper. Because why not sand it while it's all one good solid unit? Why wait for it to be multiple parts before you sand it, right? All right, we're back at the table saw. I've got my fence set up about 1¼ inches off my blade because that's how thick I want my top to be. So now all I'm going to do is remember which side my top is. Oh, and the height of my blade is set up about 1 millimeter shy of the thickness of the material I use for my sides. So about 0.8 millimeters high, 9 millimeter sides. So that's going to give me about 1 millimeter of material holding all the sides on when I'm through with the saw. With that, I'll just separate that with a box knife and then a little bit of sanding, and I'll have a top and bottom. So watch this as it goes. Zero. All right, all the cutting is done, and I got a top and a bottom. Now, I'm going to need to do a little bit of sanding to get rid of some rough edges and a few splinters that have come up. You know, once again, this is yellow pine, so it's not the greatest material in the world, but it's going to be just awesome for what we're doing with it. Make sure I'm getting the right sides in the right places here. There we go. So once I'm done with all the sanding, I can put the pieces in that will hold my router bits, and I can also hinge it up. And I might throw a little bit of clear coat on it just because it's going to be in the garage. We'll see what happens. So hang on. This is going to be another day because it's time to go in and make dinner. Okay, now we're back at the work table, and you can see I've clamped the lid and the bottom back together because I'm going to place the hinges so I can get my top in place. Now all I've done here is I've measured 1 inch from the side. So on either side, 1 inch from the side. And to get my hinge right on the seam there, I've measured up 2¼ inches from the bottom. And then made sure that they were nice and square. Now, while I had them square, I took a piece of tape and taped these guys into place. So I can drill the bottom holes and then set the hinge, and then I can go ahead and drill the top holes and set the screws there. So it's a silly technique, but it works for me. So since I'm set, I'm going to grab my drill with my hinge bit in it. And I'm not going to sink the hinge bit all the way in. I'm going to just go a little ways down there. There we go. Now I can set those screws into place. 0. Okay, all the screws are in place, so now I can unclamp the box. Again. There we go. I got a nicely cut box top. It's fitting well. All the sides are still nice and flush. It opens easily. Now all I have to do is put the plate in the bottom that's going to hold all my router bits. And I don't know, I might paint it, I might put a finish on it. I don't know yet, but we'll see. That's all for the moment. I'll be back. I'm back, and you can see that I'm almost done. In the top of the box, I've glued in a couple of rare earth magnets. And on those magnets, I've got mounted the Allen wrenches that I have to use for some of my router bits and attachments. I also have my router bit plate that is drilled for my 1/2 inch shank router bits and my 1/4 inch shank router bits. And I've got a few more holes than I have bits, which is fine because I get to expand later. Now all I'm going to do is glue this guy into the bottom of the box and leave a couple weights on it so the glue sets. I'm not going to shoot it in with Brad's nail staples or anything like that because I don't need to. So, okay, simple and easy as this. And now a couple of my dive weights. I'll hold the bottom down. Let's see, I got another in here somewhere. Okay, I'm going to leave that in there for a while, and then we'll come back and mount all my bits. We're here. We're at the end. I've consolidated every router bit that I had in these 3 boxes into this one box that you watched me build. The joints on it, once again, are tongue and rabbet. The material was just scrap I had laying around. We did flush mount top and bottom on it, so it's nothing fancy. It's nothing I would give as a present, but it's a real good strong box. It's going to be good utility here in my garage. So that's one project down. Now we still have a couple more to go in the box series, and next time we're going to get started on a box that we're just going to use box joints, finger joints. And I'm not entirely sure what the purpose is going to be just yet, but I will figure that out before the next video. So until then, y'all keep up the good fight, and I'll see you later. Bye.